to this video. I actually decided to do this rather spontaneously, and I wanted to show you the difference just a couple of minutes can make in a birth horoscope, and that is why it's so important to have the exact birth time. And I wanted to show you these differences based on twins. And there's two set of twins. I have to admit, didn't analyze thoroughly. It is a bit more staying on the superficial side, but still you will be able to see that there is major differences. And the first set of twins, actually you can see them here, are the Olsen Twins. And I have to say I don't know a lot about them. Okay, it's I live in Germany. They're not that big in Germany, so I don't know a whole lot about them. But I did analyze their chart, and you can see, if I go up here, that they're born only 2 minutes apart. We have 9:43, which would be Ashley, and then we do have 9:45, which would be Mary-Kate. And since it's only a 2 minute time gap, you can basically tell, if we switch back and forth, that it is pretty much very much the same. Okay, the moon is in the same position, and the only difference I found is actually Mercury. You see, Ashley has Mercury in the 12th house right here, but it's right on the cusp between the 11th and the 12th house. And then Mary-Kate has it in the 11th house. So that's the difference. Ashley 12th house, Mary-Kate 11th house. And you can check all the other houses here and signs, of course, they are all the same, which tells me that their differences are probably not too big. Especially, you see, it's the same degree, 13 degree and 58, and we do have that here as well. So it's just a very, very minor differences when it comes to astrology. And yeah, what does Mercury in the 11th house mean? It is Mary-Kate. Mary-Kate has Mercury in the house of what is it? Aquarius. The 11th house is the Aquarius house. It is an earth house. So, and again, it's right on the cusp, so it's very, very minor, because it's not like Aquarius, and then Pisces all of a sudden. And I'm talking about the house, of course. I'm not talking about the sign. Both have it in Cancer, as you can tell. So we're talking about the house, and it doesn't matter if it's a house or a cusp. When it comes to the sign, it's not like it's one energy and then all of a sudden it's the next energy. Okay, there is some kind of a mixture between those energies. So both probably do have some elements of the 11th and the 12th house when it comes to Mercury. Mercury, by the way, is the planet of communication and thinking. It is connected to Gemini and Virgo energy. So Mary-Kate has Mercury in the 11th house. It is an air house. It's the house of Aquarius. And the 11th house is also talking about your connections, your group of friends, networking, all of that. And since it's an air house, you could say that maybe Mary-Kate is a tiny bit more rational when it comes to her communication. And Ashley, on the other hand, in the 12th house, maybe a bit more withdrawn, a bit more shy when it comes. I don't know actually if one of the twins is more outgoing than the other. I don't know enough about them. And if so, even if it was vice versa, you have to see again, they have pretty much everything alike. It is just that tiny, 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 tiny difference those 2 minutes made. Mercury in the 12th house can indicate somebody who may be a bit psychic, who can read other people's energy, not doesn't have to mean consciously, maybe subconsciously. So maybe Ashley is a bit quicker to pick things up when it comes to her intuition. Maybe she has a bit smaller of a friend group than Mary-Kate, because of the 11th house. However, I just noticed both of them have, of course, the sun in the 11th house as well. So they do have that energy when it comes to networking. Are we just talking about Mercury here? Mercury is the way we think, and the way we think and the way we talk. And you, of course, you see both is in Cancer. Cancer is a very nurturing sign. It is a water sign. The difference is just that Ashley, she has Mercury in the 12th house, which is the Pisces house, which is a water sign. It's more emotional. It is connected to secrets, not like the 8th house kind of secrets, but more like unspoken things. The 8th house is more like keeping things secrets consciously or on purpose, whereas the 12th house is very can't really grasp things. And also it is connected to something like jail or some kind of institutions. And I just remembered one of them actually was in some kind of a rehab for eating disorder. I forgot which one, but anyway, that shouldn't be too connected to Mercury. Actually, you also see that Mercury is not connected to any of the other planets, so again, the difference here should be very, very minor. But I did find one thing, and remember, Ashley is the one in the 12th house, the one who's maybe thinking or talking a bit more emotionally, since it's the water house that is about emotions. And then we do have Mary-Kate in the 11th house, which is a bit more rational. And I found this interesting bit that when it came to Full House filming, that Mary-Kate was usually the more comedic moments. So she's the 11th house, the Aquarian. Aquarian again is connected to being witty and fast talking, maybe even. And Ashley is the more dramatic scenes. And again, drama is more emotions. It is more the way we feel, we act, and talking more about emotions. So that is that small difference I found here between them. However, those are just, again, 2 minutes. So the differences are minor, minor, minor. We do have another set of twins, though. It is the Cowlitz Twins. And they actually have a 10 minutes time gap. Sorry, that was not it. Tom was born at 6:20. Oh, September 1st. That's actually my birthday. I didn't know that. I just saw the date. Yeah, I was born September 1st too. But not 89. I was born in 82. And Bill was born at 6:30. So that's a 10-minute time gap. I assume that they were born naturally and not during a, how do you call it, C-section? Because C-section, I assume that the Olsen twins were born with a C-section when they're only 2 minutes apart, and 10 minutes apart would more indicate a natural birth, but that doesn't really matter. And I did find some differences here. Okay. Yeah, the major difference, and you see also a lot is alike here. It was just 10 minutes. So when we go back and forth, oh look, that point of fortune is completely different. Kind of missed that earlier. The point of fortune is the way we make money, or how we get money. Tom in the 12th house, okay. So it looks like, yeah, isn't Bill the one who does modeling, for example? I mean, they both have to model for their job. But Bill is more into fashion, I think. I think he is the one who has the fashion label. And the first house is also connected to our body, to our physical appearance. So making money with the physical appearance, it's not too surprising if he is into fashion and has fashion labels. So anyway, you see, there's one major difference here, and it's the sun. So Tom has the sun in the first house, very close to the ascendant. It's 8° Virgo. You see 8° here, and the ascendant is 7°. So it's just 1 degree orb. It's very close connected to the ascendant, meaning both of the twins, of course, they have this aura. If the sun is very close to the ascendant, we just have this present. We do have this light shining, and both have it. And you see Bill even more because it's 8-degree Virgo, the sun, and the AC down here also 8-degree Virgo. However, they have one major difference. We were talking about the Olsen Twins earlier, where Mercury was in a different house, but the sun is even stronger, and we have Bill in the 12th house, and we have Tom in the 1st house. Sorry, here, you can see that here. And I think pretty much everything was the same. Something down here was different, if I remember it right. We have 4453, and we have 4443. Okay, Neptune. Yeah, okay, they have Neptune in different houses. Bill in the 5th house, sorry, in the 4th house, and Tom in the 5th house. But Neptune is not too important when it comes to personal astrology, because it is, well, it's more important what house actually than what sign, because Neptune is a very, very, very slow moving planet. It's the planet of disillusion, for example. So we don't want to focus too much on Neptune. Neptune can be somewhat like, I was gonna say psychic abilities, but not just that. There's different factors for psychic abilities. For example, we do have Mercury as well. We have Uranus. Uranus is connected to the crown chakra, so it would be clear cognizant. Neptune energy would be more like empathy. That's more like where Neptune spirituality goes. The difference between the 4th and the 5th house can savor some kind of illusion going on, and one may have more disillusionment when it comes to family life, which would be Bill actually, and Tom more when it comes to the 5th house, which would represent their artistic work, and it would represent their also, for example, children. Another difference, is the MC. I'm going to talk about the sun because it's the most important. We do have the MC and 29 degrees Taurus for Tom, and we do have the MC at 2-degree Gemini. So that's a big difference already, because the MC is very important, especially when it comes to public people, famous people, because that is how the public sees you. And then we do have him in an earth sign. Earth is it's Taurus. Taurus is one of the very creative signs. I mean, he is a musician, which is art. Both are artists. But it's earth, it's Taurus. Taurus is more laid back, you could say. And Bill is Gemini. Well, the MC in Gemini, which means Gemini, it's like a bit like a chameleon. Pisces energy is a bit like a chameleon. We're going to talk about that when we talk about the sun in the 12th house. But Gemini energy, the MC in Gemini, is somebody who's seen as somebody who is changing all the time. I relate a bit because I do have my AC in Gemini, which means, for example, you do have different looks. And the MC is not as much as people who meet you perceive you, but more like public images, like the public. And so we have one who is perceived more like in Taurus energy. Taurus is slow moving energy, and by that I don't mean that he is a slow person, but not it's fixed energy also, because it rules the second sign, the second house, and it's fixed. So he doesn't change his appearance too often, whereas Bill with the MC Gemini may be perceived as somebody who changes all the time. However, both have the ascendant in Virgo, which probably means that for people who know them, they don't change too much. Maybe they do change a lot when they go out, or they're perceived as somebody who's changing a lot. But Virgo energy is also energy that, it's not a fixed sign, but it's Earth again, and Earth is not as fast changing. So he's probably perceived a lot more stable in private, then he may be perceived by the public. And we do see that here, because as I just said, one of them is perceived as more like not changing so much, and the other one changing quite a lot. And you see that in different looks. This would be Tom, and he has like one look. Okay, here has this hair tied, and even when they were younger, it's basically the same look. And then the other one, Bill, changing the hair color all the time. He started out with this big hair, and those are probably all more recent pictures. I don't know. Here we do have him white haired, then we do have him, all the different hairstyles. Big hair again. So you see what 10 minutes can make a difference in how we are looking for the or what our image is like. And then of course another major thing, I said it before, is the sun in the first house. And again, both of them have the sun very close to the ascendant, so both of them have this aura. Both of them are getting noticed, because when the sun is very close to the ascendant, you're just somebody who is getting noticed. And the first house, but I don't know anything about them. Let's try if we see something about them physically, because I would assume that Tom would be a bit more into sports, maybe, for example, because the first house is the Aries house. It is about the way we move, it's about action, it's about doing things. And the 12th house is the Pisces house. It's more like the spirit, I said, is more transforming, and Pisces as well. Pisces and Gemini are those, maybe also Scorpio, because they just have this mysterious aura, whereas Pisces and Gemini energy is more ever changing. And especially Pisces energy, many people project their own stuff onto them. So somebody who has strong Pisces or strong 12th house, and having the sun in the 12th house is kind of like strong Pisces energy, is somebody where different people project different things onto. So again, it is some energy that is constantly changing all the time. And again, you see that in here. I mean, again, different hairstyle like all the time, the difference. And Pisces is more like you can't really grasp it, whereas Aries energy, Aries is more predictable, you could say, even though it is a fire sign, but within they are very impulsive, but they're still kind of predictive within their impulsiveness, whereas Pisces energy is like a fish in the water. You can't really grab it, you can't really read it. So Bill, that guy, is a bit more mysterious than the other one, and I think it's evident. I don't know them personally, of course, and I'm not a fan, so I haven't read a lot about them, or actually nothing, basically. I just sometimes you turn on the TV and they are German, I'm German, so sometimes they are in German TV, and you just zipping through the right word, through the channels, and then I don't know, you listen for a minute or two. So they are kind of different. Then what else was I going to say? Of course they are Virgo suns. There was something else, I just lost it. Give me a second. Okay, oh, here there was some difference. The elements we have, which one was that? Sorry, Tom, the long-haired one. 0 fire, 12 earth, 3 air, and 2 water. And this one has like more earth and less earth and more water. Sorry, more air. I don't know what's going on with me right now. So he, again, air is a more mutual or changeable energy, because air is the fastest energy from those elements, whereas earth, of course, is the slowest energy. And again, it's like you see they have a lot in common. Of course, they have pretty much everywhere the same houses, the same signs. Obviously, it is just 10 minutes apart. However, you see that they are very different when it comes to at least the way they appear. I don't know them personally. Maybe they have very similar core. I mean, they probably have very similar core. How do you call it? Sorry, I'm just lost for words right now. That is when you don't prepare those things. Qualities. Let's just call it qualities. It's a lot alike. It's basically just those 10 minutes, but those 10 minutes have major influence when it comes to the house. The sun, again, is one of the strongest points when it comes to astrology. The sun, the moon, and the ascendant, but also, especially for public people, the MC, the medium coeli, is midheaven, is very, very important, and there is a change here. That is why they are perceived completely different. However, they may be a lot alike if you actually get to know them. However, this is a difference. But even then, you see how close it is, the 12th house, but it is so close to the first house that, again, it's just 10 minutes. So it's not that I would think that their whole personality is completely different. But there is a difference in how they are perceived, definitely. I mean, again, obvious. And also, maybe Bill is a bit more connected when it comes to some kind of source. Doesn't matter if he calls it God or whatever it is, or maybe he's a bit more psychic or has a better gut feeling with the sun in the 12th house. But other than that, they are a lot alike. However, I wanted to show you the differences. Like 10 minutes can make a huge difference. Because again, the MC is very important, and there is a difference here. And what house the sun is in, again, is a major difference. I could also think that maybe Bill is a bit more secretive. I don't know, or maybe even better in hiding something. Maybe that is why he's changing all the time, because he... Sorry, I just clicked on the wrong thing. Because he doesn't want to show himself as much, his real self. But also part of his real self is that changing. However, I wanted to show you how the difference 10 minutes can make, because when I dissected my twin flames in my horoscope, I was just astounded about how everything went together. It was just, to me, divine perfection. And then when you get into astrology, you see just 10 minutes can make a big difference about the house and whatever. I mean, imagine how much difference a day makes, or 2 days, or a month, or a year. And many people just want to know, why is there often big age gaps in twin flames? Because it is divine perfection also when it comes to their astrology. And I think it is something that is absolutely neglected, probably also because many don't have their twin flames exact birth time, and you need to know about houses. But yeah, that is just, I wanted to show you why it is important to have the exact birth times. And you saw the Olsen twins, they were just 2 minutes apart, and it was a minor. I mean, Mercury is still one of the personal planets. And here we have 10 minutes apart, and it is bigger. Again, maybe not so much like on their personal level when you know them personally, but a major difference is how they make their money, maybe how they're perceived. And again, with the sun in the house, that gives the sun, I mean, both our sun in Virgo, but still it gives them a whole different energy. Especially the 12th house is the Pisces house, and you can see Pisces is the polar opposite of Virgo energy. So Bill may be a bit more, living extremes, you could say, because again, it is the total opposite. And if you have strong Virgo and strong Pisces, you kind of maybe meet in the middle of it. You bring both elements into one person, which can be a bit complicated, because again, Virgo and Pisces are just polar opposites. So he may be a bit more, I don't want to say chaotic, that's not the right word, but I assume Tom has maybe like a calmer energy, and Bill, he's just has more, I just imagine like a painter, and Bill has more colors to paint his picture than Tom does. I mean, you can see it here, obviously. I mean, one is definitely more colorful than the other. Even that was just a metaphor. Anyway, please don't forget to like and subscribe. You can book your own reading with me, and I will do more astrology videos when it comes to comparing soulmates astrology and also celebrity soulmate astrology. So that was it for today, and yeah, I hope you liked it. Please leave a comment below. Also, if you do have some ideas about what kind of celebrity couples or siblings or friends I could analyze, please leave a comment below and I might consider. So bye bye.